good evening and welcome to a new edition of the news. His Majesty King Abdullah held talks with Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe that focused on aspects of boosting political and economic cooperation between Jordan and Japan, as well as the strategic partnership between the two countries. Upon arrival for the talks at the Prime Ministry in Tokyo, the King was accorded an official welcome. During their talks, the King and Abe stressed the importance of forging closer bilateral ties and continuing coordination and consultations on various issues of common interest. The Japanese Prime Minister said his country is continuing its support to Jordan through the public and private sectors, adding that Japan works to encourage private sector investments in the kingdom. Jordan, he added, is an important strategic partner of Japan, stressing his commitment to working with His Majesty to further develop relations between the two countries. The two sides reiterated the need to build on joint agreements, increase Japanese investments in the kingdom, and boost cooperation in the industrial, military, and vocational training fields. King Abdullah pointed to the importance of the 4th Japanese-Jordanian Policy Dialogue meeting that will be held in Amman early next year in expanding cooperation between the two countries. He also highlighted the importance of Japan's participation in the upcoming investment conference London is slated to host early next year to support Jordan's economy. The talks also dealt with developments in the region and efforts to reach political solutions to regional crises, mainly the peace process and the Syria crisis. Discussions also focused on efforts to counter terrorism, as well as cooperation between Jordan and Japan in this regard. His Majesty expressed appreciation for Japan's active participation in the Aqaba meetings, which are aimed at bolstering security and military coordination and cooperation, as well as the exchange of expertise and information among the various regional and international partners in the fight against terrorism within a holistic approach. Following the talks, His Majesty the King and Abe held a press conference.
Your Excellency, my dear friend, on behalf of all of us, our delegation, we are truly delighted to be back in your wonderful country, and we thank you, Prime Minister, and the relevant institutions for the warm welcome and the tremendous cooperation that we have had. I would also like to congratulate Japan and Osaka on winning the rights to host the 2025 World Expo, a truly well-deserved achievement. During this visit, I have had the honor to meet again with their Imperial Majesties and with His Imperial Highness, the Crown Prince. And this was an opportunity to strengthen the traditional relationship between the two royal houses. Japan has continuously demonstrated that it is a very strong and reliable partner, and we appreciate your support in mitigating the impact of the refugees we've had on our country, as well as international efforts that have helped deal with the challenges that we've had with many different types of refugees, as well as the challenge we have on UNRWA. We'd also like to thank you for the strong strategic partnership that extends to countering terrorism and extremism. And our discussions today spoke about many regional challenges, including Syria, the peace process, and the stability that is needed in our region. Japan's efforts to advance all the different challenges that we have, whether it's diplomatic, economic, or development domains, are extremely welcomed and appreciated by our country. We also discussed very briefly the challenges between Israel and Palestine, and we affirm the two-state solution leading to an independent Palestinian state on the 1967 lines, with East Jerusalem as its capital, living side by side with Israel in peace and security. This challenge, if left unresolved, is a conflict that will remain a rallying cry for extremists, and will continue to hold back regional progress and prosperity. Again, I'd like to thank the Imperial Majesties, His Imperial Highness, Your Excellency, and the people and government of Japan for the continued warm relationship between our countries and the always warm welcome that we are received with when we are here. And this is a relationship and a partnership that Jordan is truly proud of. And I thank you, Prime Minister, for your leadership and support of our bilateral relations.
On the sidelines of their meeting, His Majesty and the Japanese Prime Minister witnessed the signing of a $300 million development policy loan that will be provided by the Japanese government to Jordan over a period of 3 years. The King and Abe also witnessed the signing of an agreement to promote and protect investments between the two countries. The agreements were signed by Minister of Planning and International Cooperation Mary Gawar and the Japanese Foreign Minister. Still in Tokyo, His Majesty met with Japanese Foreign Minister Taro Kono on Jordanian-Japanese relations and the latest developments in the Middle East. His Majesty reiterated the need to step up efforts to relaunch Palestinian-Israeli negotiations based on the two-state solution and leading to the establishment of an independent Palestinian state with East Jerusalem as its capital. The King commended Japan's efforts in pursuit of peace in the region through the Corridor for Peace and Prosperity initiative launched over 10 years ago. The financial challenges facing UNRWA were also discussed, whereby His Majesty praised Japan's role in providing support to the agency to enable it to continue its education, health and relief services. The Syria crisis also figured high in the talks, and the importance of reaching a political solution that safeguards Syria's territorial integrity, the unity of its people, and guarantees the safe return of Syrian refugees. Back here at home, as part of the government's meetings with various sectors to discuss the government's priorities over the next 2 years, Prime Minister Omar Razaz met with prominent thinkers and intellectuals. The Prime Minister highlighted the important role this segment shoulders in the cultural sector. During the meeting at the Royal Cultural Centre, Razaz said that citizens' needs and their concerns lie at the heart of the set priorities. He said that the priorities for 2019-2020 are in line with His Majesty's royal directives listed in the letter of designation, which focused on Jordan's productivity and the state of law and solidarity, which constitute a launching pad towards realizing a national renaissance. To achieve rule of law, Razaz said that the government will improve relevant legislation, develop political life, protect public freedoms, combat corruption, enhance integrity and transparency, and advance decentralization and citizens' participation in their communities. The Prime Minister said that the priorities will contribute to restoring citizens' trust in governments. Taxi drivers held yet another demonstration denouncing the deterioration in the demand of their services, which they attributed to the licensing of ride-hailing apps. Protesting in front of Parliament, taxi drivers complained that some ride-hailing app drivers operate without a license. They called for fair rights and to completely ban the apps. Last week, taxi drivers held a similar protest. In sports, Austrian mountain climber David Lama completed an astonishing solo climb of Luangri in the Himalayas to become the first person to scale the 6,907-meter mountain on the border between Nepal and Tibet. Lama battled temperatures of -30 degrees and winds of 80 kilometers per hour over his 3-day ascent. Not only that, but Lama, who had to navigate steep snowfields and patches of rough ice, incredibly also completed much of the climb without any ropes. And from minus 30 degrees to a slight rise in temperature tomorrow, creating pleasant conditions across the kingdom. Winds will be southeasterly moderate. Amman can expect a high of 20 degrees Celsius and a low of 10. Warmer conditions are in the forecast in the Jordan Valley, the Dead Sea and the Gulf of Aqaba, with daytime temperatures in the port city at 29 degrees, dropping down to 18 at night. And with this, we come to the end of this edition of the news. I'm Ali Atuqan. Thank you for joining us. Have a good night, and I'll see you tomorrow.